Relationship-based leads are the best leads. They're the ones that come to you knowing your value. They're way better than a Zillow lead who doesn't know you or you're constantly trying to prove who you are. They come to you knowing, liking, and trusting you already. And so the process is so much easier, so much easier.
So the question is this: how do most agents find the secrets to succeed in today's competitive real estate market, especially when the top agents are keeping those secrets to themselves? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. Hi, I'm Aaron Amuchastegui, and welcome to Real Estate Rockstars. Real Estate Rockstars, this is Aaron Amuchastegui. Today I get to interview Amy Stockberger with Amy Stockberger Real Estate, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We were just talking before we hit record about how I love Sioux Falls. I love South Dakota. We spent some time there during 2020 in our RV, and it was one of my kids' favorite places they want to go back to. They want to spend a lot more time in South Dakota. And it is a total experience from the east side of the state to the west side of the state, totally different as you get to go through it. And feels like a 1,000,000-mile highway connecting it where there's nothing in the middle of nowhere. Amy, how's it going?
Great. Thanks for having me.
How long have you lived up there?
I've been here my whole life.
Whole life. I'm born
years. I'm
born
on my
and
36th
raised.
level.
That's awesome. How did you get into real estate?
Well, I actually got into it right out of college. My dad owned a Coldwell Banker brokerage at the time, and he did the best thing he could have done for me. He paid me $24,000, put me in a dark room in the back of the office, and taught me everything from the bottom of it up, and just said, "Here, sink or swim, and see how it goes."
So what was he having you do in that back office? Were you doing admin for the active agents, like escrow coordination? What was it?
Yeah, I was doing admin in the back end. Also, at that time, Coldwell Banker had a concierge program. So I was working in their concierge program where they were doing additional touches for clients, utilities. I created a Santa Claus letters for Coldwell Banker back in that time. Then started working the back end into it and fell in love with the entire industry and came to him and said, "Okay, I want to sell." And he did the next best thing for me and said, "No, it's too hard. It's scary. It costs too much. It's too cutthroat. You can't do it," which was perfect because I was like, "Okay, good. Underestimate me. This will be fun."
Yeah. So you said, so how long did you work there before you said, "Okay, now I want to be an agent"?
I've been in it for 23 years now, in 23. So I started in 2000. I got licensed as a realtor in 2002. And then I became a buyer's agent, which was really kind of a new thing at that time, really for our market and for a lot of markets, because teams were just really kind of starting up at that time. I worked for my stepmom, who was her buyer's agent for a tiny bit. And then we were pregnant with our first son, and I decided that I wanted to go out and do it myself. And then my dad did what dads do when they try to protect you. He said, "Again, you can't. It's too scary, blah, blah, blah," all the things. And the rest is history. So since then, I've been selling since 2004 is really when I got into it, when I got back from having my son. And right now, we're the highest producing team in the state of South Dakota. We've been that since 2017. We rank number 23 in the United States for teams for our size for units.
It's awesome. So how many units is it? How many units did you do last year? How many are you going to do next year?
Last year we did 486 units. The year before that we did 559, which was like 171 million, and then 166 this year, the 22, which is about 4.8 in GCI. Our goal for next year is going to be about 500, and we're going to stick around that 584. Our stretch goal is 664 units. Goal is to be up to about 32 agents by the end of next year. At the end of 23, our stretch goal for that would be, I don't really want to get more than 50 within this market. And then we have right now about 20 agents on board. I have 18 employees, but 6 of those are in different VAs. So we have the rest here in my office.
Yeah, that's a big size team. It's a good size team as you're growing. Have you seen the number of transactions in your area go down, in the last 6 months?
We've seen them a little bit. Transactions have gone down. But we're continuing to see prices go up, though. So our supply is still, isn't where it needs to be. We're kind of a hidden treasure here in the Midwest. We're a mid-sized city, but we have all the big city, amenities to do. And we have the no state income tax, or a little bit of a hidden treasure, or the tax climate treasure that way, as far as we have so many companies coming in. We just have Amazon fulfillment center, distribution center, a big one just came in. We have over 500 million in development in our downtown area. We're just a mecca for new jobs. And so as a business owner, I own a lot of other businesses too. It's the hardest part for us as business owners is just getting good talent right now because we're competing with a lot of open jobs.
So you've been an agent for a while, and you've been an agent there for a while. You've seen a couple cycles. Yep. What is something that you've learned that you wished you would have known when you first started that would have been really important to know for expectations or for anything when you first got into real estate?
Well, back when I got into real estate, my biggest ad spend was newspaper. I mean, that's how long I've been in this. So I wish I would have back then, because at that time I was just gobbling up as much information as I could as far as trying to find things to duplicate within my business and then make it my own. And I wish I would have had access to being in a team at that time. There just wasn't, really wasn't that much of a, it wasn't as big in our market at that time when I first got into it. So I wish I would have access to that. And I'm a high D, high I, so I'm really big into systems. I wish I would have systemized even more from the very beginning. Like right now, everything within, that's why we stay at the top of our industries, because we're very systemized, have a strategy and system for every part of the process, for every stage of home ownership and all that. But I wish I would have systemized quicker, which, it's like I tell my agents all the time, CRM. Had I got into and actually used the way I should have used my CRM back in the beginning, that would have been huge for me. I would have had probably, I don't know how many 10x of success than what I've already experienced. It's just having that in place, and to have a pace car, somebody who had already made all the mistakes, somebody who was giving you the business plan, who was giving you everything to sit out and go and just sit down and put your head down and work. Yeah.
So is that the benefit of the team? So when teams weren't around 20 years ago and you're saying, hey, if I was early on, I wish I would have known there was teams. I wish I could have joined a team. Somebody could have done that. What are the benefits for somebody that's thinking about joining a team right now?
Oh, I think that's a huge part of it. Somebody already having all the strategy and systems down in place for you to come in and, that's what I've sold our agents. Like my goal my vision is to build big, juicy legacies for everybody within my ecosystem, and to come into my company. I've already made all the mistakes. I've already put all the systems in place. I already have all the processes in place so that they have their business model sitting there. All I need to do is just continue to generate the leads, show them how the foundation of our business is lifetime home support, how that we have a system and strategy for our clients that we're there for them before, during, and after. That's going to keep them within their ecosystem forever. Because again, the lifetime value of a client is huge. So that's a big part of the upside of being with Amy Stockberger Real Estate, is we have that all laid out for them.
Yeah. Which CRM do you guys use?
KV Core.
Cool. As you talked about systems, so you wish you'd have known more about systems, and now you have a system for everything. What do you think is the most important system that you're using right now? And because I know there's front end to get leads, there's buyer follow up, there's relationship stuff. What do you think is the most effective? Because when a new agent is just starting to systematize, right? Mm-hmm. They're starting to figure out what they should work on. What should they make a little bit more smooth? You've been there before. So what would you say is the most important system, or the first one someone should implement?
Oh, well, getting their CRM in place so that it can become their contact management to stay in front of them, because it's top of mind. Your human brain has two places for realtors. You need to make sure that your name needs to be in front of them all the time, so that they're out there, especially the people who know, like, and trust them, are referring them, because that's where your data bank is your biggest asset in real estate. It just truly is. And if you're not working your data bank, your database well, you're leaving so much money on the table, and you're just not serving the way you should or could be serving within this industry. So I would think that just getting your CRM, your data bank, and going through and making sure everybody is in there. And then you need to start systemizing down to your buyer profile, down to onboarding your buyers, to onboarding your sellers. We're big, one of my core values is communication cubed. Communication is just as important, if not more, as location in real estate, in that they need to be adjusting their clients' expectations for the entire process. The more adjusted their expectations are for the entire process, the easier the transaction is going to be for everybody, the more enjoyable the experience is going to be, the more opportunity they have to have that client continue to refer them to everybody within their sphere who's making a life change. And, I say that all the time to my agents. You can't be asking people like, who do you know who wants to buy a house? That's just, you're not going to get answers back. But you can ask like, who do you know who has a life change? Because likely anybody in a life change right now is somebody I can be of service to. And I'd love to offer my lifetime home support to them to get them to their real estate goals.
Hey, real estate rock stars. This is Aaron Stegi, and I'm interrupting myself to bring you this commercial break from one of our sponsors. There's somebody I've been looking at for a long time, and when they reached out to me, I said, yes, we have to be able to do this deal. So that sponsor is Follow Up Boss. There's a lot of superstars out there that use Follow Up Boss. What's your favorite CRM?
We're using Follow Up Boss.
We use Follow Up Boss.
So we use Follow Up Boss.
I love Follow Up Boss. I love it. We have action plans now for bringing on new agents. We have action plans for our recruiting.
We call them action plans in Follow Up Boss, which will trigger tasks for the agents to do as far as calling. Follow Up Boss I like more for the integrations with everything, MailChimp, Call Action, all those different products.
I will say we used Sync and we switched from Sync to Follow Up Boss.
Honestly, the greatest CRM I've ever used. I've used Brivity, Sync. I've looked at Boomtown, like Real Geeks, just a bunch of different ones. But me personally, I fell in love with FUB about 7 months ago when I first started using it.
I've used Boomtown. I've used LineDesk. I've used Conversion. And I think Follow Up Boss gives you the most integrations that are simple, and it gives you the best ability to go and integrate large things into one single solitary platform. Yet at the same time, it's still affordable.
I do like Follow Up Boss better just because you can text from the app and things like that. It's just a little more convenient for me.
It tracks everything that I need. I can customize it if I want. If I want to go smart list based, that's fine. If I want to go task based, it's fine.
I think it's one of the best systems, and it's very user friendly.
It just really helps me never drop a ball because it's so user friendly.
I don't have a one horse in the race with Follow Up Boss. Purely objective, Follow Up Boss has been the best one that we've found.
Now, I've used Follow Up Boss. We've actually used it in our non-real estate businesses as well because it's so good at being able to set timers, set automatic texting and emailing. So here's what we got. For Real Estate Rockstars listeners, you get a 30-day free trial. That's normally 14 days. So in order to get this, you go followupboss.com, just like it sounds, /rockstars. Go there, get your 30-day free trial and check it out. Especially if you aren't using any systems or any CRMs yet, this will be a great one for you to start with. Thanks again. Now back to our show. I was having a conversation with a guy yesterday that was talking about inside his CRM, inside his system, right now doing outreach for people whose kids, their youngest kid is like a junior in high school, right? Mm-hmm. Because they're likely going to buy or sell in the next 2 years, right? When their oldest kid graduates from high school, the size of the house changes. And sometimes it might take, another year or two after that. But those are those life changes. And he talked about the power of a CRM when you really dig in and just add so many more details. Like here's all the kids' birthdays, like the different ways you can follow up with them that way. Or you can categorize people based on assumed life changes on age or other things that you put in there. What are some touches and some ways that you're staying in front of your database right now? So if someone is just starting to get their CRM together and now they've got, their 400 past clients in a CRM, somewhere. What are some of the things that are easy follow up or whatever, emails, texts, however you do it? What are some ways they should stay top of mind if they're struggling to come up with content to send an email?
Lifetime home support is my answer on that. That's the easy thing for us because that's our foundation that if you're not here to serve first before you sell, it's just not going to resonate as strongly. So we're constantly serving back to our clients, telling them what they get with their experience with us. So we have, lifetime home support is a foundation in my business. And that's just basically, I've created unique value propositions that position us as our client's lifetime home support partner, which makes them our lifetime referral partner. And so we're, one of those pillars is my VIP club. They get access to, from buying and selling with us one time, they get access to my moving trucks. I have 2 moving trucks. They're 15-foot moving trucks. I have an enclosed trailer. I have a flatbed trailer. They get access to those for free for life. And then they also get access to my party and tool shed, which is my tool shed is anything from commercial grade food warmers, bouncy houses, cotton candy, snow cone, popcorn machine, banquet tables and chairs, anything you can think of to throw a party, they get access to for life. My tool shed is anything that they could use for every stage of home ownership that they likely don't want to rent, buy, or store, that they get access to for life. So like commercial grade carpet cleaners to paint sprayers to ladders to specialty tools, wheelbarrows, all those things they can come use for free for life. And what I've done with those then is then I've monetized those pillars in my VIP club. So I sell ad space on the back of my truck. So I make money off of my trucks every year. Then I put my branding on every piece of my equipment. So my brand reach is even bigger because people have these big parties with all my stuff and my name is everywhere. They come in. It's so easy for my clients to use the law of reciprocity that it's just a fundamental law that when you get something, you feel compelled to give back in kind. And so our clients sing our praises from that because we're constantly serving to the nth level for life for them. It's not just a transaction for us. We're there for everything they would need throughout every home ownership. And
that's brilliant. I mean, that really is go ahead.
I got more. They get a discount center that we have access to. So I paid in and bought exclusivity for a marketplace online discount center. So that our clients get access to that. It saves them $5,300 plus a year. And it's 100,000 national brand names like Nike, Verizon, Walmart. So our clients can go on and use that. It has free travel in it, free hotel stays, cruises, things like that. We give that to our clients for free for life too. And then we also have a home support team partners, which again, everybody should have these. But they're your affiliates, your people who your clients are going to need again through every step of home ownership. So we have the obvious, the lenders, the title company, the inspectors, but we also have HVAC. We have carpet cleaners. We have house cleaners. We have hotels. We have event venues. We have electricians. Any service that they're likely going to need. I have a part of my home support team that provide my clients preferential treatment and oftentimes preferential pricing, and they pay me to be a part of it. So it's a really big revenue stream for me as well. So we have that in there. And so it's really that part of my VIP program is threefold of a benefit for me because first of all, it's adding to my VIP club for my clients because I know they're going to need these services. So why not have them set up to people who are there and who I know are going to give legendary care. These HST people pay me $3,500 a year to be a part of my program. And then we also have third part of it for them to be a part of my home support team partner. I get to be in front of their employees several times during the year because then I get to go in, or the high person I hired for this, my business developer, they go in and they talk to their employees about our lifetime home support model. That one-to-many presentation of saying, hey, not only are we experts in our market of connecting buyers and sellers, but we have a strategy and a system to build wealth through real estate for you using our lifetime home support approach. Why would we not be able to pick up market share from that, knowing that we're having that type of commitment? And once they sign into our program, our CRM starts, our drip campaigns start, where they're seeing all the information and all the things they get by being a client of Amy Stockberger Real Estate. And then these employees get it just by working for the people who are my home support team partners.
Real estate rock stars, this is Aaron Amuchastegui. Thank you for letting me interrupt for a second. I've got something really, really important to talk about. You know how last year we kept talking about that mastermind? What is the mastermind? What are we talking about with that mastermind? Last May, there was like 60 or 70 people of you listeners that had never met, flew out to Austin, Texas. We all hung out at this awesome event center and we spent a couple days with some great guest speakers talking about skills and strategies to succeed in real estate. And then we had these mastermind tables where everyone rotated, everyone got to meet everybody, everyone got to provide value. Some of the agents there had only done 1 or 2 deals ever. Some of the agents there had done hundreds of deals, and they all got to interact and help each other build their business and build their strategies. And I've heard so many stories of friendships that came from that, of referrals that have come from that. There were 6 or 7 people at that one that heard me talk about doing an Ironman, and we all did an Ironman together in North Carolina last month, and we had never even met before the podcast live. So it's been such a cool experience. I would love it for you guys to come. Days March 6th through 8th. Sign-ups right now. Go to hybendigital.com/mastermind. We also have a room block set up. It's 3 days, downtown Austin, great, really cool hotel, really cool convention center that we're going to be hosting it. And we're going to get a chance to, I can't wait to meet you guys. I can't wait for you to meet other listeners. I can't wait for you to develop these new interactions. And really what we're teaching, last year it was like, how do you make a business better? But the market was just starting to turn, and I was trying to give some people some advice of what to do when it was happening. Now it has turned. And this time we're going to be talking so much about how to pivot and what to do next. So again, I hope you sign up for the Mastermind. Sorry for such the long advertisement, but I can't wait to meet you. hibandigital.com/mastermind. Yeah, I think that is it's a brilliant package, because now I could see, like, even if you just sold somebody a house, right? So in 2 months you get to say, like, hey, happy spring, sun's out, people are having their parties. Just a reminder, if you guys need barbecue equipment or bounce houses, we've got those. When winter's hitting, Christmas parties, you're like, hey, if you're going to do any Christmas parties, remember, we've got the outdoor heaters as part of your program. So you have all these reasons you can be reaching out, and it really does. And it really is just, hey, here's some value. Hey, just a reminder, since you bought a house with us, you can use my moving trucks whenever you want. And so then now you're top of mind. And so someone says, like, hey, did you ever use an agent? Yes, because you're top of mind. Could be, yes, I even got to borrow her moving van next week. Or if nothing else, even if no one is asking them about that, when they're out using your trucks, your pictures out there, or when they're using your stuff for parties, they're automatically going to see, like, oh, there's a heater here. Why does it say your real estate agent's name on it? Oh, she gives it to all of us when we do this. I think that is a really cool program. I haven't heard anything like that before. How long have you been doing that?
I started it in the end of 2015, and completely, I always joke, but it's true. I have a PhD in failing forward. And so I went through and just failed until I got it right, and then completely systemized it down to, like I said, the drip campaigns, down to the checklist, down to the operations part of it for every department within my company, down to all the marketing platforms on how I need to make those touches, where they're seeing those, to the private Facebook VIP group that we have for our clients, to our giant client events. And then we've had such success that over 70% of my business is related back to my data bank, from being referred from my data bank. And we have a transaction coordination department, a listing coordination department. I have ISA, I have a business development department. And all those, though, they're coming back in. My ISA even, which was last year, I think it was like 36%, what we were saying was coming in from just my ISA conversions. It's hard to break that up, because the biggest part of that lead source is floor calls that my ISA is taking and converting, because they're seeing our stuff throughout the community so much that we're just so top of mind that people are calling, like, yeah, I want that service. Why would I not want that for life? And a lot of times, and I created a course on it. I have a whole copy and paste formula to implement and monetize your VIP club. Because again, I did it, and then I make money from this as well. My HST program, that's well over 6 figures. Next year I'm going to have 100, this year, 23, I'm going to have 125 members on there. My goal is over 400,000 in gross profit just from that. And that doesn't include the 50 some units I'm expecting to sell from my home support team, because I'm getting that one-to-many face-to-face time to be with those employees and get them into my system so that they're seeing and staying top of mind of everything that we have to offer.
Man, and you also talked about with that VIP program too, like, so if you're referring an electrician or you're referring an event center, there's some sort of a monetizing share there as well. So if you refer an electrician, do they pay you referral fees and things like that?
My home support team partners pay me $3,500 a year. We have close to 100 of them on right now. So yeah,
cool. So then it's less transactional and more like, hey, if you're going to be the referral partner, I trust you, but I trust 5 different people. So if you want to be the one I refer, you pay for that once a year. Much easier to manage than transactional. I like that concept. I want to dig into your coaching, but right before that, so you're getting like 70% from Sphere, from referrals, from your database because of all that stuff that you're doing. Mm-hmm. Where are you getting the other 30? Like, how are you going out and marketing just to get fresh people that have never heard of you, never heard of anybody in your list?
Because my ISA, like when I go through like my ISA, sorry, I have an office dog who's right underneath my feet. Awesome. In my ISA, like top 3 lead gens that they bring in, like that's my next one. The first one is my floor calls. So those are people calling in that have seen our name, seen us around, who are calling in to my office to buy or sell, to come list me, or I want to buy a house. And then the next one is Zillow. And then the next one is my IDX, is what we're paying for Google pay-per-clicks on that would be my next lead gen on that.
Yeah. So when it comes to IDX, do you have any like special things you like to say? Is it just like selling houses in Sioux Falls? Is there any tips or tricks for that?
We have it spiced in with our blogs, with everything, and our pay-per-clicks or everything. It's our hook. It's our lifetime home support hook that we have for it. And that's the part that, my ISA, they have an 8% conversion rate. National average is like 1 to 2%, but it's that hook because we know that every consumer likely, because humans are humans and we have like such short attention spans and we want instant gratification, that if they're calling my brokerage, they're calling other brokerages too. So we train my ISA department and my agents. They're like, here, you need to throw in the lifetime home support hook right away to show them, hey, this is what you get with us. You get this. Not only are we the experts in connecting buyers and sellers and helping you build wealth through real estate, but we have a lifetime home support model that we're going to be there for you before, during, and after. And so it's a big hook to keep them with us. And then we also have, again, my lifetime lead strategy is what I call it, is having different unique value propositions that position you to help them at every stage as their lifetime home support team. And so we have, like our love it or leave it guarantee that we put in writing, that we're going to, work so hard to find them the right house that if for any reason they don't love it within the first year, we're going to sell it for free on our side. We have our, an instant offer program, a guaranteed sale program. We have a lease buyout program. We have a program set up for a strategy, what we call Stockberger success strategies for every season of where that buyer and seller is likely at.
Yeah, man. And that's a reason somebody joins a team, right? Mm-hmm. You've got like the 7 strategies. Someone says, I want to start an instant offer program, because there are a lot of things out there, where people are trying to find these fresh hooks. And I think your success team is a great hook. And then before we go into your coaching, it's a different year in most places, right? So even though I think in most places prices are staying up, but what we're seeing in Texas is nobody's offering list price anymore, and we're seeing transactions go down. And so, but in general, we're just like quantity. We're seeing everybody having to work harder for fewer transactions.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so right now, I think in most markets in the US, it is now a buyer's market where buyers have a choice. Buyers, when they make offers, they could come back and get better deals and things like that, because we got multiple offers on a listing last week, but our best one was 50,000 under asking. Right. And so you go so any extra advice that you would give to people right now, or strategies that are working, especially today, that weren't needed a year ago? I think your VIP program you've been using for a while, but anything that you're switching to now that like a year or two ago you didn't even need to do? Well,
I think again, everybody needs to go back, and we haven't had to really play. We were just playing, offense, really. We were only playing defense for a really long time in the market. And I have a lot of new agents too. So, it's kind of a joke. I'm sure it's been said, but that, when prices started to go back, we had to explain to new agents, like, this is what a price improvement is, because we hadn't seen that. It was always like up this way instead of down. Yeah. But, it's being dedicated to your prospecting. It's being dedicated to making those calls and going back and talking to your past clients, to your sphere of influence, and making sure that they know what is going on in the market, because people are just curious. Real estate's always a sexy topic, and the media does just a really good job at trying to make us all believe that there's one national real estate market, and that just isn't true. Every market is so micro. Everybody has their own. Like, we're not feeling the effects nearly what Arizona is, or even what you guys are feeling yet. We're down to 99% list to sales price right now, year to date. So that's still pretty good. We had, 12% more inventory hit the market last month, and our closed sales are down, but we're still appreciating, 4% in price, our average, and 0.8 in median. So we're still in a seller's market right now, because we still only have like 2 some months of inventory. And, I do feel, though, that the one thing that is always essential, always essential, is just to be working on that relationship-based business, because that will stay and will supply you a very beautiful career through any market, any shift. If you are doing that and you're loving on and you're giving back and serving the people that know, like, and trust you, it's just tenfold. It just really is.
Yeah. That's great, Amy. So tell me about you have a coaching program or you have a course? How are you teaching everybody else how to do this?
Yep. I have a course that I created. It's just the copy and paste formula to monetize and implement your VIP club. And it basically is taking my years of experience, and I've had high Ds. My avatar is team leaders and brokers. And so the high Ds who have done the course, I set it up to do in 4 weeks with 2 weeks of implementation. So a full 6 weeks to get it completely done. But I've had my high Ds who have been buying it, who've been completing it in 1 weekend. It's 7 modules, and it literally goes down and it shows you how to implement and to monetize every pillar of the VIP club, from the moving truck to the party and tool shed to implementing it into your operations department for every department within your organization, to what you need to do for every marketing piece of it to get it in the right places. I actually give out drips too, my drips that I use in my email marketing platforms that they can put into their CRMs. It has access to my software, which again, my software was built as a one-stop shop that my clients come out to, and they rent all these equipment for free on. But your websites, we were talking about this a little bit before we went on camera, but typically your websites for us as brokers and team leads and agents, the consumer is using that website to first vet you out, to get research on your company, your brokerage, and then to look at houses. After that, they're typically not going back to it. Yeah, they're going back to your social media. They're looking at those things. But I've created a software that's a one-stop shop that your clients are going back to because it's built to serve them, to have them go out and easily at their own time and leisure, look at all your VIP items, rent it. It has my home support team partners on there, which again, give my clients big discounts. Has my discount center on there, has all our socials in there. It has a way for them to refer and review us within it. So again, it's very one-stop shop. And we have in my company, and our market's small, we're 285,000 people. We do about 4,200 transactions a year in our home market. Our market does. But I have over 2,000, reservations a year on that website. It's huge. And then this program also. So not only can you add major value to build your market share with my VIP club, but it's also, and it makes you sticky to your clients. It also makes you sticky to your agents. We as brokers and team leads, my average tenure for my agents is 6 years. My average agent, does right around that 30 transactions. Last year was a little bit down, but our volume was about the same. But it makes them sticky too, because their clients are so used to getting that service that they don't want to leave. They want to stay within the ecosystem and continue to get those referrals, get those, referrals that are coming back from that lifetime home support model that we're providing.
Yeah. How much do you charge for your course?
$19.97.
$19.97. How do people find that?
They can just go out to asreacademy.com. That's Amy Stockberger Real Estate Academy is what that means. asreacademy.com /start your VIP club.
ASRE Academy / start your VIP club. I like that. I think, like I said, I think that's a super cool program. There's a few people that I've even interviewed recently that I'm thinking I need to call them and tell them to come listen to this, because it seems like, these medium-sized towns, I guess really just anywhere, any time that you can get, people are paying for billboards, right? Mm-hmm. And billboards is like a big expense that people use to get their name out there. And I think these moving trucks are like that free billboard, right? That's out. And I've heard of other people that do that, but there's just so many different versions of that with what you're doing. And it gets to be, being able to advertise and ask people for business without asking them for business. Right? You're actually just offering something. You're saying hey, can we help you with this? And every time you do that, it's going to improve increase your business. Mm-hmm.
And it's in the course. I also have, so part of the pillars of my VIP club are our client events. And I think a lot of people do those, but we've systemized those client events down to, absolutely every single detail. And so in the course I do 3 big client events a year. I just had my 17th annual turkey giveaway. We give away the frozen turkeys, and we have Santa come and we do pictures. We gave out over 600 turkeys. I had 1,100 people in my building. It's huge. And I usually get me personally 3 to 4, sales off of that or referrals off of that just from that event. Again, it's the law of reciprocity. In my course, I took my 3 big events and I'm giving out the exact checklist to it, and I think, again, I know what's kept me at the top of our industry is that serving first. Then I also, the next thing is systemizing. We systemized from the very beginning. It's always been a joke in my business that when I say checklist, they say drink, because I say checklist all the time. Like, my checklists are living, breathing entities. That's the only way you can scale is to systemize. And so I've basically taken everything and systemized it into this course for people to literally just take it and implement and monetize it right away. And down to as well, I have lifetime home support trained virtual assistants, that we have that as an option, that students can go out and agents, brokers, team leads can buy blocks of time of my virtual assistants who are already trained on my tech stack, who are already trained on all of this and know how to implement that they can hire to get this implemented faster. Because usually high Ds want it right now. And that's who my avatar is. And that's who people who are going to be successful at this, that they can hire these VAs to come in and turn that around for them as quick as possible, and keep them on if they want later, to help them with the running of the program.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. So looking into this next year, it sounds like your market has been performing, good. You're still in the seller's market. You've got transactions. You're down a little bit on transaction numbers overall, but you're gaining a bigger market share. What are your predictions for the South Dakota market over the next year?
I think that we're going to see this spring go a little bit bananas again. We have a lot of pent up. We've had a really weird weather pattern, and so we have a lot of buyers who are just waiting for inventory right now. And we saw. And it's kind of been the trend since the beginning of COVID that we just have so many people coming in from, the West Coast, East Coast, coming here for opportunity, and for a lot of people coming for freedom too. We were an open state, and we have so many job opportunities coming here, so many businesses opening up. And we saw when that rates shifted, we saw people who are on the fence and wanting to, or maybe vetting out South Dakota as a place to relocate to, make the decision. Like, okay, if the economy is going to go bad where they're at, they're like, no, we're just going to go to where we know the economy is insulated. And that's one thing. We were the same way during the mortgage crisis too, where we saw a little bit of it, and it was, but not nearly close to what the rest of the United States did, because we're so insulated. We have so many different industries that make up our economy here that it does keep us a little bit insulated on a lot of the things that the rest of the U.S. feels.
Yeah. Well, Amy, any final inspirational thoughts for our listeners? I think this was a super valuable interview. I mean, I think that there are so many tips and tactics that people are going to be able to apply, and getting to see from the beginning of what you thought would have been important to know right away, and some of your tips and tactics and systems, but then also like your big hook. I think so many people can apply that in their business. But final thoughts, just, inspirational or practical or anything. Yeah. What's the last thing you want to make sure all our listeners hear?
I think building a relationship-based business is going to make your business withstand any type of market. And I truly believe that team leaders and brokers have to have different profit centers within their company. And this adds, like what I've created, it does have a lot of different profit centers that we're able to add into our bottom line just by doing something that is starting out where we really need it to be, with just serving the client. And then it's turned into all these great profit centers by the way we've monetized them. And relationship-based leads are the best leads. They're the ones that come to you knowing your value. They're way better than a Zillow lead who doesn't know you, or you're constantly trying to prove who you are. They come to you knowing, liking, and trusting you already. And so the process is so much easier. So much easier.
Yeah. Such a win-win. Offering your clients a service that they want for free, yeah, and you can monetize from other people just to be a part of the program. And then it also creates new business. I love it. So Amy, what are ways people can get a hold of you if they have more questions? I know you've got the ASRE Academy, right? Yep. The any other places they should find you, social media, emails, phone numbers, anything?
Yeah, amystockberger.com email, but I'm out on all the socials. You find me. Amy Stockberger Real Estate is our handle for all of our brokerage ones. Easy to find. Stockberger is a hard name to miss.
Stockberger is a hard name to miss. I bet right when I start typing that in, I will find you. Amy, this was so great. Thank you so much for coming on our show.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Real Estate Rockstars, thanks for listening. All right, Real Estate Rockstars, this is Aaron Muchastegui jumping in again to thank you for listening to the show. Hopefully you guys loved listening to that one. And I want to make sure that you know about all of the extra resources that we have. And also, we need your help. They say podcasts are free. You get to listen to podcasts for free. But what is the cost of that podcast? I would say if I could beg you to pay anything for that podcast, I would say the cost of the podcast is going and giving a review. So whether you download it on Google or Apple or YouTube or anywhere else, please go give us a review. Say what you liked, what you didn't like. It helps us get better guests. The more reviews, the higher we get in the rankings. Right now, we are the biggest podcast out there for real estate agents, and we want to keep that spot because we know there's lots of podcasts out there. So go give us a review. Also, be sure to go to hibandigital.com. If you liked any of the resources that those real estate agents talked about, we've got a huge video vault of those resources for free. Every penny that comes on the podcast that we interview, they give us something that helps them get their deals or helps them work with their clients. And we put that in the toolbox in our vault for you. So go to hibandigital.com and you can get it. If you're looking for real estate education, go to rebusuniversity.com. We have all sorts of courses in there to help agents succeed in real estate. How to get the listing, how to negotiate deals, how to become an investor, all sorts of different stuff, rebusuniversity.com. And if you want to chat with me, go find me on Instagram. And if you come find me on Instagram, you can send me messages. Tell me what you want to hear. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. We try to put a bunch of content out there too. You can find me in 2 different places. It's at rerockstars.com for our Real Estate Rockstars page, or at aaronamuchastegui.com for my personal Instagram page, where I can chat with you about all sorts of different things. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again soon.